Okay, hello everybody. I hope the recording is on. Welcome all to today's meeting. My name is Sai Lochin and I am Coastline Toastmasters Sergeant at Arms. Well, to officially start the meeting, I want to note that the meeting will be recorded and shared among the members for study and reflection, and some parts of the recordings will also be used for promotional material. I would like to lay on some ground rules before I begin. In order to have a sport meeting, please mute yourself when you're not speaking. Be attentive throughout the meeting. And if possible, please turn on your cameras for better interaction. Whenever speakers are speaking, please support the speakers by having smiles and claps and the emojis that are present. Now, let us begin today's meeting. And I would like to hand over the stage to our presiding officer and host of today, Toastmaster Shailaja. Over to you.
Thank you, Lochin. Very good evening, everyone. And myself, Seela Shaileja. I'm VP Education and host PO and host for today's session. And once again, warm welcome to everyone. I can see we have a guest today, Nitin, Ankit, Deepak. Warm welcome to our session. Please, I request you to introduce yourselves, how you get to know about the club and everything. Hello, Nitin, Ankit.
Yeah, I think we are confused. You can pick one by one.
Hello.
Yes, Ankit, you're audible.
Sorry, there might be some technical issue, so I just missed.
Yes.
Yeah, so do I need to introduce myself?
Yes.
Okay. So hello, everybody. Good evening. My name is Ankit. I'm company secretary, and I'm joining this call from Hyderabad. Okay, this is my first Toastmaster meeting. Okay. Yeah. Should I cover anything else here?
Thank
It's
you.
like I just missed that what you asked. Sorry.
It's just a small introduction, that's it. Thank you. Stay tuned in our session. Okay.
Thank you.
Today we have an education session which is slightly different from our regular sessions. We divided our session into 3 segments, which is education session and 2 prepared speeches, evaluation segment, followed by evaluation polls and networking. It is to inform you that every year we get to participate in a contest to check on how well we are progressing in the way we deliver our speeches. One of the contests that is coming up is International Speech Contest and Table Topic Contest. The motive to conduct today's education session is that it will help you to understand how this contest is all about and how well we can prepare for the contest. We can all understand that it's very challenging to get to know all about the contest and how well to prepare all by ourselves without any guidance. Well, we don't have to worry about it because we have our trainer, DTM Jahnavi. She is the part of Toastmasters for last 6 years. She is the charter member of Coastline Toastmasters, and she has served as a club sergeant at arms, a VPPR, president, secretary, treasurer, area director, and division director. She's an IELTS and English language proficiency trainer by profession. I welcome DTM Jahanavi with her presentation to fill the session with knowledge. Over to you, DTM Jahanavi.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sailaja, for the beautiful introduction. A very good evening and warm welcome to all the guests and my dear members of Coastline Toastmasters. So today we will be learning mostly about contests, the importance of contests, how and what we have to do in order to go up in this level of contests. Okay, since we have a lot of new members in the club, I made a detailed presentation on both what are contests, at the same time what are the rules and regulations, and the second thing which we are going to learn about is how to prepare for international speech contest and table topics contest. Okay, this is going to be an interactive session. I'll be asking a couple of questions here and there, so if you want to answer, you can unmute and answer. If you have any questions, once I finish that particular length, you can stop me and ask the questions. If you are not comfortable asking in the middle, you can wait, and we have a 5 minutes of Q&A session towards the end. Okay, perfect. So yeah, like all trainers do, let's get ahead with a presentation. Let me share my screen and check if you are able to see it or not. Okay, let me now share my screen. Before I share my screen, how many of you heard about International Speech Contest and Table Topics Contest before? Okay, Govind. Govind has already heard about it. Perfect. Okay, so Govind, you can correct me whenever there is something you know and something I'm saying differently here, so that we can discuss and let all our members have the complete knowledge. Okay, so guys, let's get ahead with this session today. Now, the first thing which we are going to learn about is what are contests in Toastmasters. So Toastmaster International says contests are one of the important part of learning system which will help its members to grow and move forward with a healthy competitive spirit. So now, what are the different contests that TI has or Toastmasters International has actually proposed? These are the list of 6 contests that are present within the TI: International Speech Contest, Evaluation Contest, Humorous Speech Contest, Table Topics Contest, Tall Tales Contest, and Video Speech Contest. These are the 6 different contests that are conducted over a period of the academic year in Toastmasters, that is July 1st of the year to June 30th of the next year. Depending upon the decisions which are made by each district, the contest timings differ. Now we will see what does District 126, the district in which our club is a part of, conducts the contest. We have 2 cycles in which we conduct the contests. First cycle starts from September to December. Second cycle starts from February to May. So our September to December cycle is already over in the last year, that is 2023, where our club has successfully conducted evaluation contest and humorous speech contest. Now the second cycle has begun, where from February to May, we are going to conduct the remaining 2 contests, which are the International Speech Contest and Table Topics Contest. Now you might ask, what is the flow of these contests? Like, where am I going to go after club level? So this is the selection procedure. Every club conducts their own contests. From each club, 2 winners will be selected, and these winners will move towards the area, where we all know that there are 4 clubs in each area. So 4 into 2, 8. 8 contestants per area will compete among them, and then 2 winners will all again be selected. These 2 winners will go to a division level. So every division has around 4 to 5 areas. So minimum of 4 people or 8 contestants again from each area will be competing in the division, and among 8 only 1 candidate will be selected. So this candidate from division will move to the district. So each district will have minimum of 7 and a maximum of 10 to 11 divisions. So all these divisions will get equal opportunity, and the winner of this I'm sorry. Okay, so winner of these competition among all the division contestants will become the district champion. Okay, all the remaining contests which we have seen here, evaluation, humorous, table topics, will stop at the district level. That is, they'll pick a district champion for the year and the competition is done. But in the case of international speech contest, the contestant goes forward to a region level, region quarterfinals, where it's like the entire India. So certain countries are combined together. So a couple of 5 or 6 districts are combined together to form a region, and each district champion will come there and compete. So if you will win at the region level, you will go to region semi-finals. So where a couple of regions together will compete, and even if you win there, you will go to World Championship of Public Speaking, where the entire world winners will compete to pick one world champion of public speaking per year. Okay. Now, what is the eligibility? How are you eligible? Simple. First eligibility criteria is you must be a paid member. That means you should have renewed to that cycle till March. Let's say for this cycle, you should have paid your dues till March of this year in a club, division, district in which you are competing. So in 126, you should be part of a club, which is a part of district 126 if you want to compete. Then this is one criteria, which is the member has to finish their dues. The second thing is the club must also be in good standing. That means the club should have a minimum of 8 members. Only then the club is called as good standing. Only then they will be able to compete at any level. Okay. For example, if you won at a club level and your club is good standing, but you went to area level, but your club is not in good standing, then you will not be able to compete. If you went to division level and your club is still again, or your dues are not in good standing, then you'll not be able to compete. So till your final result is out, that is at district level or at world championship, your club should be at good standing and you should be a paid member. Okay. If you are a new dual or reinstated member, your application should be with world headquarters. You have to maintain eligibility at all levels. If at any one level it is not eligible, then you will not be able to compete. Okay. Now, when are you ineligible? The basic thing is when you are not a paid member, you're not eligible. The second thing is if you are in the leadership cycle above your club. So if you're club EC, it's fine. But if you are a district officer, that is your area directors, division directors, or district trio, or any of the officers' terms, if you are in that rules, you cannot compete. If you are at the international levels, you cannot compete. Okay. These are the only 2 eligibility criteria that we have. Now let's see what is the eligibility criteria for international speech contest. To be eligible for international speech contest, there is a small criteria here. You should have finished level 1 and level 2 of Pathways learning experience, or should have earned the Distinguished Toastmaster Award. So either one of these has to be satisfied. Okay. If you haven't done that, I'm sorry, you cannot compete for ISE. So still our club hasn't announced the club date. If you are somewhere nearby to level 2 or level 1, quickly pace up and finish your speeches. Now let's see what is the eligibility for table topics contest. Simple. You should be a member of a club in good standing. So all of us can participate in a table topics contest. Now, what is the subject? Simple. For international speech contest, you can select your own topic. You can pick any topic of your own thoughts and deliver it. But in case of table topics contest, the table topic contest chair will pick subjective topics and they will give it to you. Okay. Now let's see what is the timing. Simple. The ISE is the regular speech timings, which is 5 to 7 minutes. And you will be disqualified if you speak for less than 4 minutes 30 seconds and more than 5 minutes 30 seconds. Sorry, 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Now for table topics, it's 1 to 2 minutes. The contestant will be disqualified if it's less than 1 minute or more than 2 minutes 30 seconds. So now let's move into the international speech contest. Before we get into this, any questions with respect to the generic criteria of the contests? Anyone has any questions? Okay, perfect. Let's move ahead with the international speech contest. So before we learn all about international speech contest, I would like to tell you what is this. So in international speech contest, You just have to write a speech and deliver. Simple. So when you deliver this speech, out of the 20 members that you have in your club, only 3 will be picked, the top 3, first, second, and third. How are these guys picked? They are picked based on a judge's ballot. Now, what are seen in this ballot is what we have to work on. If you know on what basis you are evaluated, it is easy for you to prepare. So there are these criteria which have certain marks which are involved in it, and each contestant is marked here. Okay. Now, first part in this judging item is the speech development. So how is your speech organized? What kind of material did you use to support? Like, did you use any props? Did you use any kind of quotes? What are the stories that you have used? These all will be seen in the speech development. Coming to speech organization, that is the structure. How is the structure of your speech? The opening, body, and conclusion. All these things will be evaluated and you will be scored out of 20. Now, the next one is the effectiveness. So, the effectiveness is how did you affect the interest of the audience? What is the purpose that you have? And did you achieve the purpose that you wanted to achieve? Like, did you influence? Did you motivate? Did you give them a question? What did you do at the end of your speech towards the audience? The next one is the speech value, which is the ideas, logic, the originality of the thought. The thought has to be original. That means it should be yours. You cannot copy speeches from YouTube or any of these social media websites and deliver here. It should be authentic. So till here, you will be scored out of 50. So these 3 are the content part of your speech. Now let's see the remaining 50. Where does it go? It goes into your physical movement on the speech. How is your body language? How is your speaking area, the voice, and the manner in which you have delivered? So these 3 will be given the 30 marks out of the 50 that we have. The remaining 2 is the appropriateness. Whether the speech which you have selected is suitable to the audience or not. For example, I am talking to good adults over here and I'm talking about some concept which is present in a pre-KG. Will my audience be related to it? No. And most of my audience are teenagers. Let's think about it. It's a college club and most of our audience are teenagers. If I talk something related to corporate, if I talk something related to post-retirement plans, will my teenage club members understand this? No. How appropriate is my purpose and the audience is what is calculated here. And the next one is the correctness. Correctness is the general grammar, pronunciation, and how I have selected the vocabulary here will be selected. Based on these, you will be scored out of 100, and the highest which you get will be selected as the top 3 winners. Okay, understood the ballot? Thumbs up, something. Am I clear or any questions? Okay, I hope I'm not boring you guys. Okay, thanks, Govind.
No.
Okay, thanks, Shailaja. Now let's go ahead with how to prepare for international speech contest. So this is the 4 cycles which I prepare when I ever give my speech, or especially when I gave my international speech contests. So the first one is plan, prepare, mentor, and practice. So what do we do in plan? First, we plan our central idea. This is very important. The entire script before we write should start with your central idea. We always try to start with a story. That means we fix to a story that we want to tell. And based on that, we try to bring an idea or a takeaway from it. No, that's not the correct order. The order is always to prepare one central idea in a single line. It should always be a one-liner. Be good, do good. Simple, one line. Then what is the takeaway? What do you want my audience to take away from this idea? Again, a one-liner, or maybe maximum of 2 lines. From that, depending upon this central idea and the takeaway that I have, I'll try to form stories, because the best way to connect with any person on this planet is to tell a story. So always connect them through your stories. Depending upon your idea and takeaway, write down a minimum of 3 to 5 stories that are related to you or the person about whom you're going to talk. Next, prepare. Once you have decided on your 5 stories, jot them down and try to select the best and then remove the rest of them. Then start writing your script based on the structure. What is the structure? An intrigued opening. How you are going to do opening here? Start with either a question or a date or an incident or sometimes a story. Then you have to establish your central idea there in the opening. In the opening itself, you should establish what you're going to say in the remaining part of your speech. Then start with your body of your speech, where you will transform into your ideas or stories what you wanted to deliver towards your audience. Once your stories are done, towards your conclusion, you will reiterate the purpose what you wanted to say. You will conclude by taking away the learnings from the 3 stories that you had, and you will close it. Now let's see what you should do in the mentoring process. Give a good 1 week of time to your mentor. Do not send it a day before your contests and expect them to give you a good feedback. Respect the time of the other person. So what you'll do is first send the central idea that you have formed here during planning to them and say, this is my idea. Can I go ahead? To get a yes from them or discuss why this is not going to work out. If they'll give you a good suggestion, if they say yes, go ahead and brainstorm your ideas, write your script and send it back. Once you send it back to them, get them to go through it and then ask them to help you with how you can process the structure. Have a deep discussion of how to present it, how to edit it. Get it edited and start your practice. How to do this practice is always do it in a record mode or talk in front of your camera or mirror, whatever you're comfortable with. If it's a physical contest, it is always better to talk in front of a couple of people so that you get used to the way you are going to express yourself. The hand gestures, the movements, or let's say the screen. If you are having it on an online contest, for example, our club is going to have an online contest. So whatever I'm going to do, I have to do in this frame itself. I cannot move around, right? Am I going to sit and talk, or am I going to stand? If I'm going to stand, how much light is coming on my face? How much am I visible? If I'm going to move around and talk, is my voice going to be clear or is it going to be breaking in the middle? All these things you have to practice, check at least 3 days before your contest. If I'm going to use any prop, like say my phone is my prop, so I have to make sure that my phone is very clearly visible to my audience through my camera. So I have to practice at what angle it has to be visible, how it has to be visible before the contest. All these little things have to be kept in mind and practiced before your contest. It's not only this complete structure of your speech, but also these little things matter. Okay, I'll tell you a scenario when I gave one of my ISC speeches. I was just moving, and when I moved, my audio got stuck and people were not able to hear for about 1 minute. And after that, the contest chair interrupted and told me. Because of that, there was a huge impact on the ballot because they didn't know what happened in that 1 minute. The story of 1 minute is lost, right? Even though you have everything, if minor mistakes like this happen, it will affect your result. So be aware of these little things and practice way ahead of the contest. Okay. Now let's see what are certain golden recipes that I want to give you on this of ISC is always be original. Do not even try to take inspiration or copy from the YouTube or from any of the social media inspirational videos that we have from the influencers these days, because all of us are on social media and at least one of the judges would have seen your or the same TikTok or the same Instagram video that you have seen, and they would raise a protest. In case of a protest, and if that in case a protest is launched, and if they have found a substantial evidence, you will be disqualified. See, all your preparation goes in vain because of this. There is a clause over here. You can use 25% of quoted material in your speech, but you have to give the source. For example, I took a quote from, let's say, some Mahatma Gandhi's biography. Now, I have to say that I took this quote from this person's book, and I took this particular inspiration from this particular video or audio from, or this person told this. I have to give the source in the speech. And out of the 100% of the speech that I have, this should be only 25%. If it is more than 25%, again, there will be a chance of protest. Okay. So mentor will help you with these kind of things. Okay. If you have taken any inspiration, tell them in advance so that they can help you in how to deliver the source over there. Next thing is maintain the structure, the opening, body, and conclusion. When you have a perfect structure and you pick the good transformations throughout it, it will be easy for you to deliver. Next is identify your key message, that is the takeaway. The message which you are going to deliver to the audience has to be very clear. Tailor according to your audience. If your audience is a mixed group, then pick a topic or pick instances or sources that the audience will connect around. Write it in your own language. For example, I'm a person who will never use fancy vocabulary. I don't like it. That's not my cup of tea. So I go with my regular words. Always go with your own language. Just for sake of this speech, do not write all the dictionary vocabulary over there, and don't get confused and don't confuse the audience. Always write it in the way you want to deliver. Next is always have a personal touch. This will connect the audience towards you. Next is about the universe. Make it universal. That means any takeaway or any topic that you are talking about should be able to connect with every person in the room. It should not be that one person connects to it and the remaining 99 are unaware of what is happening over here. For example, if I go to a co-ed college and I talk about women problems, only 50% of the audience will be able to understand, because the remaining 50 are male. They do not know what is happening. So they'll not be able to relate. So I should at least have a couple of points towards the other 50% of the audience so that they will also understand what I am telling. Right? So always make it universal. Next is understand the contest ballot, which you have already seen. If you follow these, it will be easy for you to move towards the ladder. Now, let's go ahead with the table topics contest. In table topics contest, again, we all know what is it? The simple table topics round that we every day have in our meetings. But the difference is you will not get that simple topics. Tell us about your best friend, tell us about your vacation. These kind of simple topics will not be given. You will get quotations, idioms, phrases. These kind of topics will be given in the table topics contest. Again, you will not get any of that 15 seconds of time that we give generally in our club meetings. No, the minute you get your topic, you can maybe use 5 seconds. More than 5 seconds, the timer will start timing. Okay, so you should be ready. Now, let's see the ballot. Again, you will be scored out of 100. First is a speech development. Again, how did you open? How did you close? How is your body? This is the structure that they will see here. How did you organize your ideas that they are given, and how smoothly did you flow towards these ideas? Next is the effectiveness. That is, when you're talking on this topic, is there something logic, any enthusiasm, and did you achieve the purpose, and how did the audience accept this? Next one is the appearance on the stage, the body language, the speaking area, the voice, whether is it audible, fluency, flexibility. Appropriateness, this. Did you understand the quote which is given to you and you deliver it correctly or not? Or did you understand the idiom and did you talk about it or not? The speech purpose and the audience will be observed over here, and the grammar. So these are the criteria, the 6 criteria which we have, based on which you will be scored out of 100. Now, how to prepare? In our regular table topic, we just randomly deliver a couple of stories that we feel are appropriate to this particular content. But in contest, we cannot do that because it is a competition. How fairly we perform, that better we get to win. So always, my mentor always used to say to follow this structure: point, reason, example, point. For example, if I got, let's say the topic is about be good and do good. I don't know why the sentence is coming out again and again. Be good and do good. This is the topic that I have received. Now, do I agree to this? Do I disagree to this? That's my point. I agree with the contest chair that we have to be good and you have to do good. So that is my point. Now, what is the reason for my point? I'll have certain reason, right? Someone did this to me, so I want to follow. That is my reason. Now, what did this someone do? That's an example. Like I forgot a pen. This can be as simple as possible. I forgot a pen during an exam, and one of the person who was sitting, who don't even know me, gave me a pen. So because of that, I was able to pass. Simple logic. Example, and again I'll say, so because of this, I agree that we have to be good and do good. So I gave my point, I gave my reason, I gave my example, I gave my point. Simple. Close it and come back. In table topics, we can as well disagree, but we can do it politely. With all due respect, my dear contest chair, I want to disagree with this point because this is the reason. Where it happened to me is an example. Again, I would say that I'm going to disagree with this. And I'll say thank you. Simple. Follow this 4-point structure and it will be easy for you to prepare. Now, what is the key to win? Here is the practice. The more you practice on table topics, the higher chances that you can win. Now go on Google, click idioms, you will get hundreds of idioms. Take an idiom, start your timer. Whatever you remember about this idiom, use this structure and talk about it. Record and listen. Then again, pick another one, talk, record and listen. You will be able to find it. Now you will ask me that one important question is, okay, you gave me a topic, but I'm getting multiple ideas. What should I do? Which reason should I pick? Which story should I pick? Simple. The first one that came to your mind. Do not get distracted. Do not do anything. For example, when I said be good, do good, the one thing I remembered was that guy who helped me during an exam with a pen. So I only concentrate on that. There are many other instances where many people helped me or many people were good to me. But this is the first thing that came into my mind. So I'll pick that only first one. I'll not go with anything else. One story, one example, one point. Close it. Do not have multiple takeaways in the 1 minute of time because you will not have that much of time and you will go over. The second thing is having that fear inside us. Okay, what topic will I get? What will I deliver? That nerve-wracking feeling that we have during the contest. Calm down, practice as many as you can and deliver it. Do not worry. The second way of overcoming this thing is always practice. Every speech, every time, every meeting, go ahead and take a table topic. In this way, you will lose that stage fear and your brain also starts giving you easy ideas every time. So let's do it. This is my session about International Speech Contest and Table Topics Contest. Now let's have a recap. We also what are the different contests that we have. We saw what is the selection process, how all you will be selected, and what all the ways you can go up. What is the structure that you need to follow for ISC? What are the different ballots that we have? The 2 ballots for ISC and table topics. What is the one thing that you can do to win in a table topic? That is point, example, point, reason, example, and point. So these are the tips that I found and which helped me in the contests during this journey. Now, I would like to open this for questions. We have, I think, 10 more minutes for questions. Any one of you can ask.
Hi, Janvi.
Hi, Lochan.
So when you said practice idioms, is it only idiomatic expressions that they ask, or is it a generic way that you're telling just practice idioms?
90% there is a chance that we will get idioms and quotes in table topics. It is recommended for the contest chairs not to pick up any scenario based topics, because not everyone can relate to every scenario. So to make it more easy for all the contestants or relatable for all the contestants, it is recommended to go with idioms or any quotes. So it is better to practice for the worst, and if you'll get a generic one, simple. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. If not, I have something else as well, because we still have 8 more minutes, right? So if you do not want to participate in the contest right now, like that is for this term, don't worry. We have a lot of role players requirement for the contest chair, chief judge, judges, and the list of role players, the Zoom masters, sergeant at arms, timers. All of you can be a part of that as well. So go ahead and explore, have an experience of the contests if you don't want to be a contestant. Even if like there is a fair 90% chance we cannot be in top 3, because we have a lot of contestants from our clubs as well. So if you are not part of the top 3 even after participating, you can be a role player in the upcoming levels, that is area, division, district. So go ahead and explore. Contests are going to be a great learning. I learned a lot of things to contests. My first experience was itself as a timer. I went to a casual, after becoming a member, I casually went to a meeting, and it was a contest day and they missed the timer. So they made me the timer instantly over there. So since then, I took up various roles in contests, and it gave me an immense exposure and learning, especially when we used to have limited resources in physical meetings. Like in Vizag, we used to have only a couple of clubs. So among these couple of clubs, all of us used to go as role players to all the clubs. So this promoted my growth overall. So now you have a lot of space, because it's going to be offline clubs, offline meetings, or online meetings as well. Both of them are happening now. You can explore anywhere and learn a lot of things. Okay, so with that, I would like to officially close in case of no questions, and would like to hand over it back to Sailaja. Thank you.
Jahnavi. Thank you for wonderful session and clearing of a lot of doubts and the procedure, eligibility criteria, everything. Thank you very much. Now we'll start the second segment, which is prepared speeches. But before that, I would like to introduce the tag team, the timer, Toastmaster Lochin, and the word grammarian, Toastmaster Bharadwaj. Please introduce yourselves, tag team. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shailaja. Well, I find myself back again as the timer. So as the timer, I will time your speeches since we have only a speech session today. I will also alert the speakers of the time they have left using 3 cards that I'm going to put. Since it is a speech session, you will have 5 minutes. I will raise the green card, and the yellow card is 6 minutes, and the red card is 7 minutes. You'll have an additional grace period of 30 seconds to complete your speech. The evaluation will also be timed. You have 2 to 3 minutes per evaluation. At 2 minutes, I'll raise the green card. At 2 minutes 30, I'll raise the yellow. And at 3 minutes, I'll raise the red card. An additional 30 seconds will be provided as well. And after the session, I'll be back with my report. Over to you, Master Sharja.
Good evening, everyone, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. As I'm Toastmaster Bharadwaj and playing the role of grammarian. As a grammarian, it's my responsibility to pay close to attention to all the speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I will take a note of any improper language as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As a grammarian, it's my duty to introduce the word of the day. Well, the word of the day is serpentity, meaning good luck in making unexpected and fortunate discoveries. Example, life is an serpentity. Idiom of the day, the raining cats and dogs, meaning the raining is very heavy. For example, it's raining the cats and dogs. I request every speaker to use the idiom of the day and word of the day. I will be giving my report when the people calls me onto the stage. Thank you.
Thank you, tag team. And we'll introduce the prepared speeches. I'll call the first speech evaluator, Toastmaster Akshay from Kite Toastmasters Club.
Hello,
Hello, Akshay.
I'm audible, right?
Yes, you're audible.
Am I visible and audible? Yeah. Hello all. So, good evening to the Toastmasters. This is Toastmaster Akshay from Kite Toastmasters Club, and a special good evening to my target speaker. So, my target speaker, Toastmaster Govind, is going to deliver his speech in the pathway of engaging humor. His level 2 project 2, and timer. Please note the timings of 5 to 7 minutes. And the title of the speech is 90s Kids. Okay, over to you.
Just a minute. Shailaja, can I have co-host access so I can share my screen?
Okay. Jahnavi, can you do that, please? Give the host access to Lochin. I'm the co-host, so. Jahnavi?
I guess she is not there in the meeting. Yeah, she muted herself. Need to call
You
her.
should be give it, Shailaja.
I don't have a host access. I have the co-host. I'm not sure.
Lochin, can you set it as background?
I can't on my video, Mamata. I have a lot of people at home right now.
Okay.
Should I just give an alert?
Just
Or
send.
I will, yes, I will switch on the video and put a card.
Yeah, just set. Probably you can
Yes.
turn on your video to indicate the 3 cards.
Yes, sure.
Let me know if I can start.
Yes, you can start going. I've started your time.
Fellow guests and Toastmasters, how many of you are born after 1980s and 1990s? Can I see a raise of hands? Okay, I guess everyone has raised their hands. I know my audience well. I guess I met my objective of the speech. Thank you so much for reacting. My topic is about the life in the early 90s. I was born in the year 1997, and I'm excited to tell you how lucky I am to be born in that period of time. Trying to remember the time I was conscious. It was the early 2000s. I used to take control of the TV. The remote was always in my hands. I vaguely remember that the TV brand was BPL. It was a Dabba box television which had the buttons, round buttons, and a small remote. I just wanted to ask you all, which brand TVs you had in those days? What kind of TVs you had? Which brand it was?
We had
Sony.
Konark.
Konark. Okay.
Sony.
LG.
Sony, LG. Yeah, they are
Philips.
all Philips. Yeah, these are all popular brands, and good to know. Mine was BPL. Later it was Akai. Anyway, color TV was a thing back then because there used to be black and white TVs as well. Then came 2004 year, where channel Pogo and my brother both landed on this planet. Fast forward 3 years, the TV remote was controlled by my brother. Initially, whatever I used to see, my parents used to watch forcefully. The same is happening with me and my parents. Now we are watching whatever my brother is watching on the TV, especially Pogo channel. This cartoon called Chota Bheem, he used to watch repeat telecast as well. It was a nightmare for me. I'm okay with watching Doraemon and again because I liked it. Then I realized how I tortured my parents, the same way my brother is torturing me. The time I tried to grab the remote from him, he shouts loudly like a dinosaur and he cries. So we just give the remote to him and let him watch whatever channel he used to see. I used to follow a strategy. Whenever there used to be a commercial, I used to change the channel. Again, there's a break. Again, I'm changing the channel. Speaking of breaks, do you remember of any famous slogans or jingles of the commercials back then? Let me name a few of them. There's a song in Lifebuoy Telugu. Lifebuoy akkada undi, Arogyam akkada undi, Lifebuoy. And then Nirma. Who doesn't know Nirma? Washing powder, Nirma. Washing powder, Nirma. Nirma. And also Boost. Boost is the secret of our energy. This was the famous slogan where many sports stars were the brand ambassadors, especially cricket players. So I wanted some more examples which you could give. Is there anyone who can think of anything? Any such slogans or brands of the early 2000s or 90s?
Tom and Jerry.
Tom and okay, that's a cartoon. Yeah, we used to watch Tom and Jerry's all day. It was never boring. I was asking about
Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean, yeah.
Lime and Lemony, Limca.
Limca. Yeah, I just
Tata
remember
Docomo.
those days. Yeah, the tune was there. Docomo. That's good. It's nostalgic already when you all are trying to recollect the memories. I not only used to watch cartoon channels, there were also sports channels. I used to watch WWE, which was a thing back then, cricket and football, Formula One, car racing, bike racing. I also used to see National Geographic Channel, Discovery. Bear Grylls was my hero back then with nice adventures. Who does not forget Destroyed in Seconds? It was so coolest channel. I used to watch even the repeat telecasts. How about you guys? What are your favorite programs or channels of the early 90s or 2000s?
Power Rangers.
Power Rangers. Man,
Mad.
I love Mad. Who cannot forget Mad? I love that episode where Power Rangers, SPD and Dino Turtles used to collab. Later got to know that Takeshi's Castle. My God. Javed Jaffrey's narration with that. That's the vibe back then. It was so good. It made our childhood so awesome. The Mad program and Takeshi's Castle. And there used to be power cuts as well. We used to go out and meet all the friends in the gully, in the neighborhood. We used to play cricket, 7 stones, and hide and seek. There were many such games. Let me say the common incidents while playing cricket. Let's think that Akshay and Ankit are 2 captains. Akshay will win the first toss. Ankit will be like, let's have another toss. Ankit will win the second toss. Then they'll be like, let's have best of 3. And always we used to have best of 3 in toss. It used to be like hand cricket or rock, paper, scissors, like a toss. Let's say I'm bowling and Akib is the batsman. If he gets clean bowled in the first ball, he'll be like, hey, no, this is trials. Let's play all reals. Let's play again from start. This used to be a habit back then. Let's say Bharadwaj owned the bat and he does not get to bat. Almost everyone is playing. He does not get to bat. He takes the bat and goes away in the middle of the match because his ego is hurt. It always used to happen. There were many such memories in school, in family life, in social life, which takes so much time to go through. But anyway, my point is, once you're a 90s kid, you're a 90s kid at a heart forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Govind, for your wonderful speech and felt very nostalgic. And now I'll call it up our second speaker's evaluation, Toastmaster Mamata, to introduce Toastmaster Akib.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shailaja. So today Akib is attempting level 4 speech 1 from presentation mastery pathway. This is a very critical pathway because he's going to practice how to handle audience. This speech will go on for about 15 minutes, and the speaker will utilize this time to present to us the project that he would like to deliver, ensuring that he addresses audience challenges. All the best, Akib, for level 4 presentation mastery speech 1. Back to you, Toastmaster Shailaja.
Now our second speaker is Toastmaster Akib. He's presenting level 4 pathway presentation mastery, and the title of the speech is What is Strategy? Over to you, Toastmaster Akib.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shailaja. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guest, you are hearing a very deep voice today, and thanks to Cold. Yeah. But today we are discussing about a very complex yet very simply spoken word, especially in the corporate, called strategy. And everybody has their own perception when it comes to strategy. Some people do not really understand the difference between tactical stuff, operational stuff, and strategic stuff. So we'll do a little deep dive, and I would request all of you to keep thinking on those similar lines, or if you have a question, you can try to raise hand or keep your question for the last Q&A session, like for the last 3 or 4 5 minutes we'll be discussing, if you have any question on similar topics that we'll be discussing. So I will be unraveling the enigmatic concept of strategy and what is the importance of it. So when you go to books, you'll find a very popular definition by Michael Porter. So people who don't know Michael Porter, he is almost a father of strategy, and this guy has given 5 forces strategy. So Porter 5 forces strategy is taught in business schools as well. What he says strategy is the creation of a unique and valuable position involving a different set of activities. See how simple the definition is. It's not as simple as it looks, because understanding the uniqueness, the set of activities which is there, and positioning of that within the market is a really different stuff. But I'll give one example, a real example which we have, and then we'll move to little bit of more real life understanding of how we get to know. You might have seen, few people selling batter on the roads, especially in Hyderabad or Vizag. You will see few ladies mostly, or few men as well. They sell batter in packets, 1 kg, 2 kg, uh, and it is a business which is very fragmented. Every location has its own kind of. Every colony has a seller kind of a retailer kind of shop. But there was a guy who came up with an idea that what if I consolidate all of this, bring it all together and scale it up to a position that I'm able to fulfill a demand of a city, I'm able to fulfill demand of the whole country, while keeping the freshness intact. The freshness of the batter is the key here, because you can't keep it for more than 1 or 2 days at your place. You'll have to sell it, and it's very perishable. Uh, and he has been putting a lot of effort to find out how to preserve it, where to ferment it. So these guys, when they started their DCs within the city, and they ferment it one day before selling it into the market. But now that their business has grown up, now fermentation happens when material is on the way to the different cities. So they were able to find a unique positioning for themselves, and that's how the business in itself has come. So they didn't come to compete somebody. And I think this is one of the strategic startup which has come in the market, and the name is IND. So Idli and Dosa Batter Company. They were able to bring proper strategy into reality and uh, make $1 billion value company. Now, that is something which Mustafa did. Let us see how you will react to a strategic situation. So suppose you are on a battlefield. You have to face an adversary whose moves are unpredictable. Uh, Now, my task or your task is not just merely to react to each maneuver, but we have to devise a plan. We have to devise a plan that outmaneuvers your opponent, and you have to ensure your victory while conserving resources. And I think that is the essence of strategy. So you don't have to. You're not just surviving. You have to think in a way that how to get rid of your opponent. At the same time, you're doing it while conserving your resources. And I was watching Alexander documentary on Netflix, and I think strategy is learned on the battlefield. Strategy, the term in itself came when warriors were devising the plan, when to attack, what is the time that people don't expect you to attack, and then you attack your opponent. It's not about having all the muscle power. It's also about having on which side to attack, how to attack. So devising a plan becomes really important. But I have a few quotes on, like, if you go through those frameworks and try to bring in or put your ideas into it, you'll be able to have certain strategic stuff. So I have 5 pointers to have that. So first among strategy building is about setting a goal. So setting a goal, of course, is important. We all know, whether it's about strategy or not. We all know that without a destination in mind, you can go somewhere, but you never know you'll reach that point or not, and that will happen because of chance. But if you know that direction, when you have that end goal in mind, it becomes very imperative, very clear. So envisioning where you want to go or what you want to achieve is very important, whether in warfare, business, or your personal endeavors. Having a clear goal is cornerstone to your effective strategy. That is point number one. Let's take an example of having a strategy to have a better body, or having a strategy to have a good fitness. What is it that you are trying to achieve? Fitness. What is in the fitness you are looking for? Are you looking for reducing the weight? Are you looking to build your strength, like really lifting the weights? Are you looking to bulk your bodies? So have that goal very clear in the beginning itself, and that is the first step of making a good strategy. The second step is understanding the terrain. So as a general, we were talking first state, right? So you are on a battlefield trying to wage a war, trying to uh, kill your opponent, trying to win a war. A general looks into the geographies that they are going to fight. A general finds out what is the weather condition, there were a lot of wars which were won because of rain happening. So few people they will not wear a lot of jackets and they'll be very flexible, agile, while the other opponent comes in full uh, warmer clothes or like armor and everything build up. So they are not able to maneuver much on the field and there is a lot of mud on the road and they win. So understanding the terrain on where you want to play. Suppose Shailaja is building a company in India. So understanding the business dynamics of which state she is going to set up a plant is very important. If it has to be a North Indian state, UP and Bihar, you are very clear that you'll have to face the politicians and maneuvering those will be your first step. If you're setting a plant somewhere in Gujarat and Mumbai, you know that politician will be somebody who will be placing a red carpet for you to come. If you're doing similar in Karnataka, you know that you'll get a lot of support from government. So understanding that terrain, understanding which environment you're going in. If you're going to Hyderabad, you know that getting a skilled workforce will be very easy for you because they are very easily available. So second strategic aspect is understanding the terrain. It includes assessing competitors, identifying opportunities, recognizing potential threats in business, understanding market dynamics as well. Like what is the market dynamics within those areas? Consumer behavior is also crucial for crafting a successful strategy. Now, third one, and which is very important, it's also about making choices. So whenever you are crafting a strategy, you don't have abundance of resources, right? You don't have abundance of resources. If resources are always limited, and within those limited resources, you have to win your war. You have to make your strategy best. You have to make your company bigger. So your resources are limited, and you have competing priorities. So it is very important to have that strategic decision making, and that strategic decision making is to how do you allocate your resources in a way to maximize the impact. So you have only 100 or you have 100 soldier only, and you have to ensure that you fight out an enemy of 1,000. And how do you place, how do you allocate these people on the battlefield so that you win? It's also about saying yes to certain opportunity while having the discipline to say no. I think it's very corporate oriented that there are times when you have to say no, and you can, and if you have that always yes attitude, you'll lose, and you won't be able to stick to your agenda. So there's a very famous investor called Warren Buffett. He said the difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. They know that I have to say no as well. I cannot always be yes. And that is where your uniqueness comes. So strategic positioning when you build, it has to be unique. Imagine ID batter fellow start selling samosas, start selling jalebis, start selling curries. His positioning is gone. Had he said yes to those options, now ID is not known for idli and dosa then. So having that uniqueness, to have that, you'll have to say no. You'll have to chart your own path and go ahead. So that is about making choices. You'll have to say no. That's very clear. That's it has to be done. Now, something which is very human, very nature related aspect of strategy is adaptability. We have seen a company called Nokia. They diminished in 10 years. They were market leaders when I was a kid. When Govind was watching those cartoons, Nokia was the only company who made phone, right? And we all had those one phone only. I can see personal chats of Shailaja. If you can move to the timer screen, it will be good. So Nokia were not flexible enough. They were not agile enough to a customer to change as the time moves. So everybody came to uh, Androids. Everybody came with no keyboards, and mobiles were very cheap. Nokia stayed positioning and they went dominant. So you have to be very flexible, very agile. Your ability to pivot in response to changing circumstances is also something which sets apart successful strategies. Like if you don't respond to the changing circumstances, you will fail, and that's what happened to Nokia. That is what happens in war field as well, in your battlefield as well. If you see that things are changing and there is a time to take a U-turn, you don't take, you're gone. Well, next item or next strategic point, which is the last as well. Before I tell that, I'll ask one question from somebody. You all have seen a lot of strategic talks in your organization, and people come, talk, and leave, and you'll see a lot of those not happening. Whenever year begins, you have an objective as a business, but you see that nobody is following. It is just that it is a document which is lying somewhere. What does that mean? Have they failed as a strategy? And I would like to ask this as a question to people who have been in corporate and seen that there are a lot of strategic discussions happening, but really doesn't materialize. Anybody who has accepted, like anybody who has felt it. Nobody? Your moments of truth discussion which happens. You say this is what we have to do, but it does not happen. It doesn't get materialized. And I think for a successful strategy, execution is as important. A brilliant strategy is meaningless without the ability to translate it into an action. Right? It requires leadership, discipline, relentless execution. So the question to Battlefield, if you're not able to execute your strategic initiative, if you're not able to execute all that we have discussed previously, then it doesn't make any sense. It is just in air, it's just in talks. And that happens a lot in offices. Like leaders come, they talk, they give strategy, they say we'll do this, but it's not in the culture itself. So it doesn't get inherited by the lower cadre, and that's the reason they failed. Napoleon Bonaparte said the moral to the physical is as 3:1. In other words, the psychological and the organizational aspect of execution are just as critical as tactical implementation. And I'll give you one example to explain this more. So I have taken a gym membership. I want to be fit. I have defined the goal. I have understood the terrain, made choices. I am adaptable enough, but I'm not able to execute. I'm not able to visit gym every morning. Although I visited 1 month, the next month I was nil. I was not able to go. I was not able to get from the bed. That's where psychological things comes into place, wherein you have to have certain things within saying, hey, I'm fitness enthusiast and I have to go. I can't live without gym. So strategy demands execution. We discussed about setting goals, understanding terrains, making choices, adaptability, and execution. So, in conclusion, I would say strategy is the art of navigating complexity, uncertainty, and competition to achieve desired outcomes. I am saying it is an art, not a science. It's just an art. you are designing something. You want to navigate through complexity, uncertainty, and competition to achieve desired outcomes. These outcomes can be achieved without strategy as well, but those will be chances, not proper designed outcomes. So by fluke, you can win. That's not, like, we're not saying no to that. So it's about having those five things in your mind, whether on the battlefield of war or the boardroom of your business, journey of your life, or if you are trying to master the principle of strategy. I think these five are key to that success. So let us embrace the challenge of strategic thinking and chart a course towards a brighter future.
Thank you, Toastmaster Akib, for your wonderful speech. I agree that if the strategy is very much important, whether you're starting from like a daily habit to a great business, we have to strategize everything to get success. And with that note, I would like to jump up into the third segment, which is evaluation segment. I call up the first evaluator for the speaker one, Toastmaster Govind, is a Toastmaster Akshay to evaluate speaker one. Thank you. Over to you, Akshay.
Yep. Hello, hello. Am I audible and visible, right?
Yes,
Thank you.
you are.
Yes. So, my target speaker. I know I'm from the year of 2000s, but you have made it clear saying that you're from 90s. That's great because the title made me think, what are you going to tell about, and made an interesting introduction with all the examples like your TV, remote, and companies, and especially the members also gave some examples. That's a really interactive, where at that particular point you have met your objective of your speech. And let me give in a regular way. Let me move on to the commendations. When it comes to the message clarity, you effectively conveyed the main message of the speech, and the central theme was so clear. And the content was relevant to the title and maintained the audience interest, so that every audience maintained by giving some further examples. And when it comes to the delivery of your speech, you used a good gestures to complement the speech and emphasize your key points. That's a great thing. And the engagement of audience, I can give you 5 out of 5. We had a great interaction with audience about all the cartoons, ads, and etc. that you have mentioned, right? And the members are enjoyed to answer even that. That's a great thing. And when it comes to your humor, because as it is your pathway, but you are great in humor. That's a bit of like adding a spice to it. And when it comes to the originality, the you showed a creativity in presenting the topic, making it interesting for the audience and touching the boundaries of the memory lines, right? Yep. You have touched the boundaries of your memory lines. And the time limit, timer, may I know the timings of the speaker? I think it's of 6 minutes, right?
Yeah, 5 to 7 minutes.
No, no, no. At what time he stopped the speech? I want to know that.
Your evaluation speak?
My speech.
Acha,
My speech
Yes,
duration.
his speech, yes.
it's
At
5 to 7
6 minutes,
minutes.
5 seconds ago.
I
No,
think
no,
think
it's
I think
6
he
minutes
stopped it.
30
Okay,
seconds.
okay,
Yep,
from when he
yep.
stopped. Okay.
That's what I want to say. So you had a great timing because every speaker needs that particular. And when it comes to the body language, your use of body language was so good. With actually, that's a great thing because nobody stands in front of your camera. That's a great thing. And when it comes to recommendations, I I just thought you need to work on varying your pitch. I mean, the tone and the pace to create more engaging delivery, so that people are really interesting because as you can combine with the waves, right, in your voice. And when it comes to the grammar, continue refining languages skills and to ensure more and more polished and professional delivery, because that makes you attractive. And your confidence is a bit high. Your confidence is a bit high, but at a particular points I have observed you are lagging a bit, that where it shows that you are unclear about what to say next. So let me give a brief conclusion. You effectively conveyed the main message of your speech. Your speech showed the creativity in presenting the topic, and you demonstrated really with a good grammar and vocabulary. But remember that this evaluation just is to make you a better speaker. Okay. And remember, there is room for improvement. Okay. Yep. Over to you. You're a great speech.
Thank you, Evaluator Akshay, Toastmaster. And Bharatwaj?
Yeah, hello?
Can you share your screen for timer role?
Sure. Did we time for the evaluator
Yes, I
one?
timed. Yes, I timed. For
Yeah,
the
sure.
evaluator.
Give me a few minutes. I'll do it. It's showing that host has disabled the participant screen sharing. I'm not able to share this screen.
1 second.
Make him host again. Yeah.
I'm giving
You are co-host. Now you try.
Can you see now?
Now I call
Hello?
upon Mamata,
Yeah.
second speech evaluator.
Can you see the?
Yes, I can
Yeah,
see.
thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shailaja. Bharatwaj, you can start the timer. It's evaluation, yeah. Strategy, if not transformed into reality, becomes an illusion. This is exactly what I could think of when I was listening to Akib's speech and a definition of strategy. I'm going to spend some time evaluating Akib's speech, which I will be dividing it into 3 parts: what went well, what he should be working upon in general from a speech perspective, and in order to make himself excel at presentation mastery, what are some of the things that he can incorporate in the future speeches. So, Akib, I particularly liked the definition that you quoted, where there are many definitions of strategy and they vary across the board. The definition that you've chosen was kind of very apt to the kind of analogies that you narrated throughout your speech. It's a very strong topic, so not everybody can deliver something which is very effective for everyone, but I really like the way you simplified it through a lot of realistic analogies, something that we get to see day in and day out. I also loved your word choice. Some of the words that I've heard were unraveling, enigmatic, FICO strategy. Something that we would want to see at a level 4 speech was very well incorporated in your speech. So fabulous job on that. You can give yourselves a pat on the back. What I observed in the speech, which could have worked and supported well, was the analogies that you have used. But somewhere I felt that some of the stories that you have used or analogies that you have used didn't sync well. Or rather, I would say the transitions that you used in between did not help us connect the dots. While the ID kind of hit the nail for us because that is something that we could closely relate to. But when you talked about the battlefield and Alexander's analogy of strategy, it did not sync very well because you quickly moved on from an Alexander's analogy of strategy on battlefield. Then you started talking about quotes, and then you asked how do you react to a strategy in the workplaces. So I felt the connect was missing over there. And from then on, again, you came back to ID. I felt you could have just stuck to ID and transitioned through the entire phase of the speech. Another very effective element in longer speeches is, to keep your audience glued, is to use pauses effectively. What I mean by that is, while you're using pauses, you're pausing excessively. What can happen because of that? Your listeners might get distracted, especially because the content is very intrinsic. People are trying to process it in their minds. When you pause in between the thought, it kind of derails it. For example, instead of saying, pauses, you have to be very flexible. You have to be very flexible. Just an instance to help you understand. So to recap, Use analogy, one analogy or two analogies throughout that will sync very well. And the second one is to use pauses. I would like you to repeat this level because the whole point of this is to ensure that you meet the strategy of creating disruptors within the speech. So you have to plan disruptors in order to manage them. Okay, thanks so much, and all the best for your future speeches.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mamta, for your evaluation. And now we can start the evaluation polling. Bharadwaj, you can stop sharing your screen. Sorry. I request Bharadwaj to give the timer report and grammarian report.
Yeah. Toastmaster Mamta took its 3 minutes 45 seconds.
Yes. And the first evaluator took 3 minutes. Did you get the
What about the speakers?
Did you get the report from
No, I
Lochi?
didn't get any report from the Lochan.
Okay. Just one sec.
I think both the speakers are qualified because they spoke within the time limit. Evaluator 2, that is, I would be disqualified as I cross the buffer time as well. So you can run the poll for speakers, and of course, the first evaluator is a default winner.
Okay. Govind, can you help me with this poll thing? Toastmaster Govind.
Yeah, I need to log in with the other login ID.
Okay.
If you want, instead you can have the poll sent directly through chat if that is feasible. Like all the members will send you in chat.
Okay.
We can directly post it to you on chat since it is only one poll, right?
Yes. Okay. We got the evaluation part is only one, right? Akshay is the evaluator, and the speaker is Govind. He got 3 votes, and Akib got 1 vote. So the speaker of today's session is Toastmaster Govind. Congratulations, Govind.
Thank you. I think I'll make certificate for myself again.
Sure, you should. And there's no sergeant at arms.
Yeah, then you can close, no problem.
Okay, this is. Thank you for a wonderful session. We completed all the segments. And on that note, I'll conclude the session. Thank you. I'll stop recording.